Hi, I'm Alison Layfield, Director of Product Development here at ePost Global. In this next video series, I'll be sharing some details on regulations and laws related to e-commerce sales that U.S. merchants need to be aware of when selling to consumers in the UK and the EU. Did you know that using the word champagne as a descriptor of color or to describe a product is deemed illegal under European Union law? That's right. The word champagne can only be used to describe a bottle of champagne. And that champagne must come from the Champagne region of France. So this rule dates back to 1891. And believe it or not, shipments that contain products that are being described using the word champagne will most likely get flagged and denied customs clearance. So with today's digital marketplace, e-commerce companies are required to understand regulations and laws, and in doing so, they're going to avoid what could potentially be hefty fines. So let's start with GDPR. Back in May of 2018, the EU, which at the time the UK was a part of, and this rule still applies to UK today, they introduced the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR for short. So its purpose was to protect the personal data of their residents and also enforce their rights as residents. So it's e-commerce companies' responsibility to ensure all privacy laws are followed, ensuring personal data is being processed lawfully, transparently, and is used for a specific purpose. So consumers, they have the right, when it comes to their personal data, to know how to access the data, how data is being moved, so from one vendor to another, have their data erased, be informed that their data is being collected, and they can update their data if necessary, and they have to be able to do that. They also have the right to restrict processing of their data and have the right to choose not to have their data processed. Consumers also have the right to return their purchases within a certain period of time. They're also protected against false advertising. So, as an e-commerce company selling to UK and EU residents, you must understand these rights because they do. It's also important to understand tax registration and requirements. Well, let's start with the UK. As most of you know, the UK broke away from the EU back in January of 2020, known as Brexit. With Brexit came the elimination of VAT threshold or de minimis before tax, and all imports were then and still are subject to 20% VAT regardless of import value. So US online retailers selling to UK buyers are required to collect 20% VAT at checkout. To collect that VAT, though, you must be VAT registered. All the VAT collected on sales must be paid to HMRC, and that would be on a quarterly basis. In the case of import duty, the threshold or the de minimis remained at 135 pounds sterling. Now for the EU, newer to the EU is IOSS, or Import One-Stop Shop, which was implemented back in July of 2021. And if you're a US seller selling to EU consumers, you are required to register and will need an intermediary in one of the EU member states to do so. Like UK VAT, sellers are required to collect tax at time of checkout, and the tax percentage in this case is based on the EU member state that that shipment is destined to. And IOSS is applicable to all orders that are valued under 150 euros. So all that tax that's collected will be paid to the EU member state through your intermediary. Oh, and remember to include your UK VAT or IOSS number in your electronic data that you send to your service provider or shipping partner. And one other thing to mention is the VAT and the IOSS accounts, they need to be current. If they're not current, that could potentially delay or cause issues with customs clearance. So while the EU and UK markets offer opportunity and growth for US e-commerce companies, it is crucial to comply with the laws and the regulations. As an experienced shipping service provider to the e-commerce world, ePost Global is here to help. Reach out to one of our customer service team members today for more information on this topic or any of your international shipping needs. And be sure to stay tuned for our upcoming videos. Bye for now.